So in this video, we're going to be looking at joint variation. Joint is one of the three types of variation that we learned about. So let's look at this problem. It tells us that y varies jointly as two different independent variables, x and z. So if y varies jointly as x and z, I can use the joint variation formula, which is y equals k x, z. So it tells us to write down the formula, joint variation, and then it tells us our initial information. So it tells us if y equals 20, when x equals 2, and z equals 5, find x when y equals 100 and z equals 10. So we're going to use these first three numbers to plug in for the right variables. I notice that it tells us y equals 20. So I'm going to let y be 20. We don't know what k is yet, so I'm going to leave k alone. Next is x. It tells us that x is 2. After that, we have z. It tells us that z is 5. So now I have 2 times 5 on this side. That's going to give me 20 equals k times 10. So now I want to figure out how to get k by itself so I can figure out what the value of k is. Well, since I'm multiplying k by 10 right here, I'm going to divide both sides by 10 to get rid of that 10. But I need to make sure that I divide both sides by 10. That's going to cancel out the 10s on the right side, and it's going to leave me with a k. On the left side, I have 20 divided by 10. That's going to give us 2. So now I know what k is. K is equal to 2. So now in the second half of the problem, I'm going to use the same formula that I used before, y equals k, x, z, but I'm going to use different information now. It tells me to find x when y equals 100 and z equals 10. So I'm going to use these two numbers to plug in next. I know that y is 100. It tells me that. I know that k is going to be 2. K is going to be 2. And then it doesn't tell us what x is, so we have to leave it as the variable x. But it does tell us what z is. Z is going to be 10, right? So now on the right side of the equation, I have 2x times 10. I can multiply these two numbers together. 2 times 10 is going to give me 20. And I have to bring down the x. And it still equals to the left side, which is still 100. I haven't done anything to that yet. So now to get x by itself, I need to get rid of this positive 20 right here. And I can do so by dividing both sides by 20. So I divide both sides by 20. The 20s will cancel on the right side, leaving me with x. On the left side, I have 100 divided by 20, and that's going to give me 5. And that's going to be my answer. X equals 5.